Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's video 44 coming at you with another video. Okay, so the deal, from what I understand, for Russell Westbrook is agreed upon. It's agreed upon. Now, it cannot go through until August 6th, so that means a lot of things can change within the framework of the deal. But as of right now, the last I heard was Russell Westbrook and a second round pick to the Los Angeles Lakers for KCP, Montrezl Harrell, number 22 pick, and Kyle Kuzma. So for me, that is a great deal for the Lakers. I love this deal. I really, really love this deal. And the reason why I love this deal so much is because Russell Westbrook is exactly the type of player that you can bring in to give you some LeBron James insurance. If he were to go down in some type of injury or anything of that nature, you can have Russell Westbrook step in and do all that LeBron does in terms of keeping your offense going, being aggressive, getting to the line, doing different things that make you a dominant basketball team while keeping AD in a winning situation. And that's really what it's about for me. LeBron is starting to have certain types of injuries and things of that nature, make you really concerned about his future going forward in terms of being able to make it through a full season. And what we want to do is just make sure that we also have insurance for Anthony Davis as well. But this is a very big, big deal because not only does it give us insurance for LeBron, but it also gives us a player who is hungry, who is going to have energy at all times, who has probably one of the greatest motors in sports history. Someone who's going to push the ball, push the pace, and make sure that we're playing in pace at all times. Someone who's going to rebound the ball from the point guard position. Someone who's going to obviously get assists. Someone who's obviously going to score the ball, albeit inefficiently. We know this. He's not the greatest free throw shooter, not the greatest three-point shooter. But unlike a guy like Ben Simmons, Russell Westbrook is not bashful from behind the line, which means that if you decide to leave him back there by yourself, he's not going to refrain from taking the shot. He's going to take it. Now, whether or not he makes it, that's a whole nother conversation. But he will take the shot, and because of it, spacing is not going to be as bad as a lot of people are saying it's going to be. Now, my concern is there going to be a strain on certain possessions when LeBron James wants the ball and when Russell Westbrook has it? Russell Westbrook comes down, bricks a shot, maybe does it a couple times in a row, doesn't really have rhythm. Is that going to frustrate our other two stars? And what does that mean for Russell Westbrook? Does that mean we're going to have stretches at a time where he's not going to play as much, where we actually going to sit him? Is this going to be that type of situation like Drummond? And if so, he's too much of a expensive piece to do that with. You can do that with a guy that you just picked up on the waiver wire, but trying to do that with somebody that's making $44 million, your team is going to not be as good in theory because of your cap situation now. So he needs to have a very big role and he needs to be good within it. So is there a risk to the situation? Sure. It's a big risk because he doesn't shoot the ball and we need shooting. But what this does do is give us an opportunity to have a certified Hall of Fame basketball player on the floor at all times, regardless of foul trouble or injury issues. And that is what the Lakers are all about. Now, from here, we have to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of the roster. Shooting is going to be extremely important. As I said, we need AD insurance. We're going to have to get us a center of some sort, someone big, preferably with long arms, someone who could be a presence in the paint, rebound the ball well, that kind of thing. And we're also going to want a player who can shoot the ball from the center position. A stretch five, a Kelly Olynyk type, Brook Lopez type. That's going to be important. I heard the Lakers may actually bring back Marc Gasol. I would prefer us not, but if we can't find a stretch five anywhere else, then that might be the move. Because if you get to bring in Russell Westbrook, you have to understand that he really does thrive off of playing with big players. So whoever we have at the center position is going to be someone we want to be able to shoot the ball, to be able to kind of play off of Russie in the pick and roll, and ultimately give AD a breather and not have so much of a drop off in talent. And how do you do this on a budget? I don't know. So that's going to be the key for the Lakers. I like the move a lot. I've made videos about this move and will continue to. But it comes with great risk. it comes with great risk. And this is a situation where you have to ask yourself, the first year where LeBron James was here, we had a bad fit. Okay? We had players on this team that we hadn't had a vision for the team yet. We were still trying to deal with the remnants of the old team before he got here. So it was a funny fit. Year 2, we were able to get AD, won the championship, bubble year, all that. Year 3, put together some pieces. They fit to a degree, but we were undersized at the center position, brought in Drummond. That messed up our spacing and all kinds of different stuff. Players going in and out of the lineup. Didn't get out of the first round. This year, we're starting off building anew, and we're starting off with a piece that, in theory, does not fit. While I'm happy that we're doing this, the critics are going to kill this move, and the pressure is going to be on Frank Vogel, who's not an offensive coach, to figure out a way to make this work and to keep those guys on the same page who have never played with one another before. Westbrook and AD, Westbrook and Bron, these guys have never played with each other. So there's going to be a learning curve. And Rusty's a hell of a player he's a hell of a player to have to learn and get used to. So I don't remember a time where LeBron James played with a player like Rusty, who's going to take the ball and not really give two craps about LeBron James as it pertains to whether or not he's going to do what he has to do. Rusty's not going to defer to LeBron, I don't imagine, especially not during pressured situations. I would imagine he's going to be one of those guys that's going to take it upon himself, because that habit is hard to break, and he's one of the great usage players of all time. So I don't imagine that this is going to be a situation where he's just dumping the ball to LeBron James. No. I don't expect that. But here's something that's going to be interesting to pay attention to. Russell Westbrook's coming home. He's from Los Angeles. And I think with what's going on over there in Brooklyn, where two of his other teammates, and James Harden and KD, are up there trying to play for a championship with a super team, and Kyrie Irving, he's been stuck in bad situations where he's not able to really be in the conversation to win the championship. But he's always wanted to get one from KD. He always wanted to show him that he could win. And this is the best opportunity he's ever had at that. This is the chance that he's been waiting for since KD left the Thunder. For him to have a real legitimate championship caliber team to go up against this guy and prove to him he was wrong about him. And I got a feeling that's going to be the mission. Obviously, the mission is a team to win a championship, but that's going to be probably what fuels the locker room, And I think it's already fueling them now. That's why they're bringing him here, because it isn't the greatest fit. He is an expensive piece. But let's be honest, Brooklyn is who we're going to have to run through, and we want to have any and all edge against that team when we get there. Having Russell Westbrook on this team is a big distraction. I guarantee you that. That's a distraction. Because they're going to have to deal with that dude. And he's coming with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. So that's what this is about. And if people really want to know what the Lakers are doing, what Rob Pelinka's thinking, we're thinking something that we can go up against Brooklyn with. How can we go up against them? They have 3. We need 3. That's what we're thinking. So we're headed up there. We're gonna beat them. That's how I'm looking at it. Now, things have to be executed. We have to get shooting. We have to build a team. We have to stay healthy. It's a lot of stuff that has to happen in order for us to get that dream matchup. But I think the NBA wants this. I think this is what the Lakers want. And I'm pretty sure Nike wants this. The big companies behind the scenes, they want this. And that's ultimately what this is about. I think this is more of an NBA move, a marketing move, than a basketball move, to be completely honest with you. This is a super team that they can market very well. So that's what I'm thinking, man. And as far as the other side of the trade, Washington's probably going to trade Bradley Beal, maybe even tonight, to either Boston or Golden State. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't think Bradley Beal stays in Washington. I think Washington has officially kicked the can on winning. I like the pieces that they're bringing in. I like the last couple moves Washington's done. So I think their team's going to be competitive, but they're going to be playing for the first pick in the draft next season. They're not playing for a playoff team. They're not playing for the play-in tournament. They are tanking. And Bradley has to accept that. He's going to have to accept that this is a full rebuild. And it's not necessarily even a question of whether or not they're going to trade him at this point in my mind. It's just about where and when. And I think a good chance is any he goes to Golden State tonight, because they have the pieces. They have the Wiseman. They have the 2 early first-round picks in this draft. And they have Wiggins. They have a lot of different things that they can send to Washington to make this deal work. Now, I know he wants to go to Boston, though. That's been the word. He's interested in going to Boston. I don't think Boston has the package, though. But I'll tell you this. If he gets to Golden State, he ain't going to be upset he's there. You know what I mean? And they're going to be looking at us. And they're going to be looking at Phoenix. And they're going to be looking at other teams thinking they got a chance to win the championship, too. And they definitely do. And what they don't have is the spacing issues that the Los Angeles Lakers are going to have. So I'm looking at the Lakers saying, you do understand that Golden State's probably going to react to this move by picking up his teammate Bradley Beal. And I don't know that we match up well with that Golden State team looking at it. So while I understand what the Lakers are doing, I would caution them to not mimic what the Clippers did in trying to build a team that beats us. It ends up getting beat by everybody else but us. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be so focused on trying to have an answer for the Nets that you forget we got to deal with a lot of West Coast teams that are built totally different than the Nets. The teams like Denver and then teams like, obviously, as I said, Phoenix. You know, these teams are built unique to themselves, and Golden State, we're going to have to keep an eye on them, the Clippers. So make sure we have what we need to defend these teams. That's going to be most important. And yeah, man, as far as the Wizards, once again, they're just picking up young pieces, movable pieces. You know, I look at Montrezl Harrell. He's going to be expiring soon. They're only going to have him for 1 year. They might be able to trade that right away. Kyle Kuzma's a young player. He's only making, $10 million a year. Is he the most productive player in the world? No, but they'll have a much better role for him up there. More opportunities for him to score the ball. KCP, he's an easy piece to move around, to be honest with you. I don't think they have any trouble trading him after that contract matures a little bit. He's a winner. His stats should be inflated on that team. In fact, he'll probably be one of the most productive players on that team next year. Just simply because he doesn't really need a whole lot to be successful. He's a weapon. He's he plays defense, and he's athletic. So I think what it really comes down to it, and his playmaking has improved quite a bit over the last 3 years. You guys are going to be surprised at how KCP can make plays for other people. That was something he couldn't do when he got here. So, you know, that's a much improved basketball player, a bit underrated in my opinion. And he'll land on his feet in this league. I don't have any doubt about that. A contender is going to find a way to get KCP because they've seen him win. And that's what I understand. At this point, the Lakers just needed to get rid of him because his contract was a bit much. We've had him on this team for a while, so it's okay to move on from players after a certain point. I think a change of scenery ain't going to hurt. So, I'm definitely happy that we had him. And, I have a lot of good things to say about KCP. And, there was another player in that deal. It's KCP, Kyle Kuzma. Of course, Kuz gets his minutes, as I said. That's a good thing for him. But all in all, the Wizards are going to be fine. They're going to probably have the first pick in the draft next year, the second pick or something like that. They should have some flexibility because they're getting these contracts off of their books. They're not going to have Westbrook's contract, so that's a real big deal for them. I think that's a victory. Looking at how they traded for Russell Westbrook, got a fantastic year out of him, and then was able to trade him for a pretty decent package that, they didn't have anything go wrong in regards to acquiring that contract. When you really look back on it, they were taking a risk bringing him on, but they were trying to get rid of John Wall, of whom they thought was done, who was not. And now, they were able to get rid of that contract in a year's time. That's exactly how you want it to go when you acquire a quote-unquote bad contract. You only take it for a year, you get the most out of it, and then you move on from it. So if you're looking at the Washington Wizards, I see them making good decisions. I see them doing things the right way. I see them not trying to go all out and win. Like I said in regards to a video a few nights ago, I was talking about the Clippers. Stop trying to win. And what I meant by that is just build the right way. Instead of trying to react to everything the Lakers are doing, instead of trying to go after players that cost too much just so you can only get to a point but not quite there, just tear it all down and pay attention to your books. Tear it all down and acquire as many picks as possible, because that's what's going to put you in a position to have sustainability in a market where you're always going to be secondary. As long as you're aiming at the Lakers and aiming for the Lakers, you're going to fall flat, because that's a fail every time. It's impossible. But what you can do is make your situation so financially balanced and make it so that you have so much young talent or young potential talent in picks to where if the Lakers can't get somebody, or rather if a guy can't go to the Lakers, they'll just automatically go to you because you're balanced. You can build around them and bring to them whoever they want to play with, just like you did with Kawhi Leonard. So that's what I think the Clippers should do. That's what it seems like the Washington Wizards are going to be able to do. And, I think it's the right thing for them to do at the end of the day. So that's what I say. Looks like the Wizards are on the right path. Some things are going to have to fall in place. They're going to have to draft well. And to be honest with you, if they are getting the 22nd pick, I'm pretty sure we'll be picking for them tonight. We'll see what they do with it. That's the kind of thing I'll be looking at, because I think that pick is going there. So, yeah, man, that's what I got, man. I'm very happy Russell Westbrook's coming to the Lakers. I am. As a Laker fan, I'm not thrilled about the fit, but I am thrilled about the player, because I know who he is, and I know what he brings to the table, and I believe what he brings to the table is something that we need, which is energy. Energy, relentlessness, fire, hunger, dog, mind you, because we love LeBron James, but he's not a killer. We love AD, but he's not a killer. Guess who is? Russell Westbrook is a killer. We definitely know that. So this is a big deal. I'm excited. I understand why others would not be. When you've seen Russell Westbrook miss as many shots as we've seen him miss, and have the type of year he had with the Rockets, you could certainly see where some concern could come in. But I would tell you, what I saw from him last year was a player that found it again. Found his passion, found his health, and now he's coming home. And I think it's the right time to get him. So, that's what I got, man. My name is BDL44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.